Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. Marco Collective Gamer 77 here, and today we'll be digging in the graveyard, specifically from the year 2000 when Nightmare in the Dark was first released in the arcades. This game is not widely known, and honestly I was not aware of it till one of my friends, Jose, actually told me about it. Goodness, I believe in 2003 or 4. This is actually one of his favorite games, especially since it was never even released for the Neo Geo AES home console, Neo Geo CD, or any other digital port. So the game is hard to find. You can, of course, find it emulation. There have also been some unofficial ROM dumps or, say, cart conversions where somebody basically put the ROM on an old converted AES cart. This game itself is a kind of a puzzle platformer very close to Snow Brothers, also another early SNK game, or even Bubble Bobble. If you've never played either one, basically it's pretty simple. You've got to clear out the stage, uh, single frame, different levels by attacking different enemies with your basically torch. Each time you fire the torch, you'll basically build and stun either a zombie, skeleton, or a miscellaneous graveyard monster. Once you've stunned them enough times, they'll then turn into kind of a flaming ball, which you can actually grab and for a few seconds run along, carry it with you as you hop onto a platform or two, and you throw it to basically take out the other enemies on the stage. That's pretty much the summary of Snow Brothers or Bubble Bobble. And while the stages aren't huge because they all take place on a single screen, they're definitely graphically well done. The colors bright, they stand out. Of course, you got a dark background to reflect the theme and the mood of course, a graveyard. But the characters, as far as the minor small enemies like zombies, skeletons, or other none such, are well animated, fairly large. Definitely not as large as the boss characters. It does animate smoothly. There's no slowdown whatsoever in the game that I've played. The music and sound effects are pretty basic. Some of the music is atmospheric and driving for sure, but definitely different than what I would have expected for this type of game. The gameplay itself is really straightforward. You can jump up and you can, of course, fall down. You do have to make sure that you don't trap yourself in between, say, monsters or several monsters that you're trying to trap or stun or kill, I should say, with the fireball. There are opportunities for, random pickups and power-ups, whether different potions, and some of those potions can actually speed up your fire attack, increase your stun meter as far as when you do hit the meters, you don't have to tap the fire button as much in order to turn them into a fireball. The graphics themselves, again, as I mentioned, they're small except for the bosses, but they animate and they're very fluid. The music itself is a decent match. It's definitely it fits kind of the background. After a while, you honestly kind of forget about the music just because you're, especially in the later levels, you're really trying to get into the groove of things, and you kind of forget about everything but the sound effects, the level layout, and the graphics. If you like games like Bubble Bobble or Snow Brothers, definitely pick up this game or take a look at it. Unfortunately, right now you can't really find it on release. Whether right now it's only unofficial for folks that do like a ROM conversion or cart, or of course emulation. I'm still hoping that ACA, hopefully in the future, releases this game. I'm not sure if SNK would still have the license for it, but I definitely wish that that does get released again digitally, as it is a small but often ignored type of a game that you don't see a lot of, especially on the Neo Geo where there are quite a bit of fighters. And as you can imagine, with such a classic, simple gameplay premise such as this, plot is really almost straightforward and non-existent. It's basically a gravedigger that lives in these myriad of different graveyards with power over a small kind of a region, and he's basically trying to, you know, cover himself as he finds out that some of the graves were ransacked, and of course, rising from the dead doesn't want anybody else to find out, so he decides to take care of these corpses by himself. He does eventually find out the powerful wizard has been stealing corpses to build an army of undead. And as far as gameplay, as I mentioned, really straightforward. Ghoul goes around different graveyards, attacking and collecting power ups, eliminating the enemies. There are 5 stages with 5 levels each. And of course, the enemies are consists of ghouls, ghosts, goblins, zombies, and of course, larger but creative enemies. Again, since this was a smaller title, you're not going to find too much materials or info about this game. But if you do have a chance to check it out, whether through emulation, which right now is probably one of the main only ways you can play this game, or hopefully a conversion, or possibly what I'm really again hoping for is an ACA arcade archive release of this game on the Switch, the Sony PlayStation, or the Xbox. This game is one of those games where you can really kind of lose yourself once you get into the Zen like motion of really trying to get through the levels. There's not much variety as far as if you're going to replay it, because eventually you will get to memorize a lot of the levels and get to know the most optimal way to complete the level in the quickest time, which of course nets you a higher bonus points, and also know which power-ups to grab and which ones not to grab. So you have 3 different potions that you could grab, and also a skull that if you were to grab it actually takes away from one of your lives. You're able to take 3 hits. Once that third hit is done, you die and you have to start over and put in a new credit. So again, it's a simple game, very classic, it's like Snow Brothers, Bubble Bobble, but hard and fun to master, especially with the variety of SNK where it's mainly fighting games. This is one of those games you can bring out and play with your friends, especially taking turns to see who can get the furthest or have the highest kind of score competitions. That is a break from either shooters like Metal Slug, top-down shooters like, say, 1975, where it's a side-scroller, Shock Troopers 1 and 2, or even, as I mentioned recently, Ninja Commandos. So it's nice to have a little bit of a variety, and I definitely enjoyed my time playing this game. And again, always still recommend trying it out. So if you do see it, give it a try. Again, unfortunately, not many official areas to try this game, but if you do want to try something new, but still classic, considering this game is now 21 years old, completely worth a try. So please like and subscribe. I've got a few other overviews coming. Thanks for watching.